ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Kent Holste Podcast, right here on the KentHolstePodcast.com website, and as well as the YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you decided to click the link and join in this conversation, as today we are going to be talking about why are you down? I don't know about you, but I'm down quite a bit in my life because of situations. Sometimes they are in my control and sometimes they are not. You know, what's funny about being down is when we're down, we kind of just sit there. And at least for me, having depression, when I'm down, I am down. I don't feel like doing much of anything at all except for just moping. And I'm not talking about crying or anything like that. I just feel so down that I just don't want to do anything. I just want to be left alone. I just want to live my life without people being around me, nagging me about, are you okay? Are you okay? But sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need those people around to make you feel good, to make you laugh, to make you smile. But sometimes we don't have that. Sometimes we don't have those people around that make us feel better, that put a smile on our face, that makes us feel like we are cared for. So on today's podcast, we're going to get more into this conversation of why are you down? Right here on the Kent Holste Podcast. Are you looking to join a good community with people that truly care about your feelings and emotions? Well, I encourage you to check out Kent Holste Podcast website, where you can find Circle of Friends. Circle of Friends is a place to be a community, but more importantly, a family. This is a page to be supportive by sharing special events that are positive or even letting others pray for you. A place that people can come together without fear of being judged, no matter of race or disabilities. A time to be that person that takes the time to care for others when it's needed most. We are all not just friends, we are family. It's the Kent Holste Podcast website at KentHolstePodcast.com with Circle of Friends. So on today's podcast, we are talking about why are you down? I don't know about you, but right now I'm not down. I'm feeling kind of okay. I'm right now, personally, I'm about ready to go on a unfortunate situation trip back to Kansas because of a family matter. And it is a situation that I feel down about. And that's why I wanted to quickly get this done, as I'm kind of waiting on what's going on for plans or whatever. So I figured I'd jump on here, get some content out before I leave, which means there probably won't be much of a podcast or anything posted on the website or stuff here on YouTube, at least for a week, or it could be 2 weeks. It all depends. So just pray for my family right now. Unfortunately, we lost a family member, and just pray. Just keep us in your thoughts. And this brings up a good little note as far as this conversation about why are you down. When we deal with loss, we all handle loss in different ways. We all deal with coping with the feelings and the emotions of a loss. And I don't know about you, but I think about all the times that I shared with that person. I think about the times that we laughed, Think about the times when we just spent time as a family gathered around each other. I talked to one of my uncles today. And I talked about the feelings and the emotions of losing my grandma, his mom, when I was in first grade. And I said, there's not a moment that goes by where I don't think about my grandma. Every day I think about my grandma. I wish she was still here. And when I think about that stuff, I get down. It happens. That's what goes on in our minds is we think about the people that mean the most. And when we lose them, it is something that is hard. It lays heavy on your heart and in your soul. But I'm telling you today that there's no reason why we should let ourselves get so far down that we can't pick ourselves back up. How do we do that? How do we make sure that when we're living our life every single day, that we're not doing the wrong steps of making sure that we're not taking our thoughts of depression too far? What brings me down is the people who pick on me. What brings me down is the people that doubt me for the things that have happened in my life. We forget that there's two sides to every story. What brings me down is those people that go, oh, that's not possible. That's not right. Oh, you can't be going through all that because it just doesn't work that way. I know the law system. I know this. I know that. And it just doesn't go that way. Listen, you may know what you know, but that doesn't mean you know everything that has happened in my life. The way that things played out, the way that things just changed my entire life. I've been married and I've had 3 divorces and I've had these situations, and each and every single one of them was different. That's the one thing that really brought me down is my second marriage. She was like, "Oh, I'm filing for divorce this way because I saw another person do it and I'm going to do it the same way." Okay, but their divorce may be different than ours. So to do the same things and create all this stuff just doesn't make sense. And the issue with that divorce is there was so much disagreement and so much one-sided that I didn't get to speak my mind. I didn't get to, it wasn't, nothing in the terms of that divorce had anything that was my idea or my thoughts and concerns. It was what she wanted, and it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm done. It was depressing. It brought me down. I just said, I can't take this. I'm done with the fighting. It's pointless. And when I say fighting, I mean verbally. There was just so much stuff that happened, and I was frustrated, and I wasn't being heard, and it hurt. And especially if you've been in a relationship and you know what I'm talking about. Where 1 minute it's, oh, I would do anything for you. I love you. I wouldn't treat you like other people have. Oh, I'm different. I'm not going to do the things that other people did. I'm not that type of person that would take away this. I'm not that type of person that would take away that. But what's funny is people contradict themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have any hard feelings or all that towards my exes. Okay, what has happened has happened. And granted, a lot of the things that were said and stuff, I deserved part of it. But when it comes to my kids and all that, I love them. I would never hurt them. I would never do anything to raise them the wrong way. However, my last marriage that I got divorced from, that home life was very bad. It wasn't healthy. There was a lot of back and forth. And the unfortunate thing is my standing up for myself got mistaken. And that's bringing me down. It brings me down every day. The hardest thing, what brings me down in my life, is I get misunderstood. Sometimes I just feel like people don't want to listen. They hear one thing that comes out of my mouth and they just twist it. And they twist it to the point where it benefits what they want to hear. And it sucks. Because if you know me, I have always had the best intentions. And sometimes when I get frustrated, I say things that I don't mean. And back then, 3 years ago, I would have said anything to get my way. Because I didn't want to lose anything. Why would I want to lose my kids? I don't. I have done everything I can my entire life since the day my daughter, my first child, was born to ensure that they were safe. And that they were raised in a way that they knew what was right and what was wrong. I raised them to be respectful, to say please, thank you. I wanted them to live a life that was not like mine. And what brings me down is I failed. I failed. I let my kids down. And that's what brings me down. And it hurts. I don't know about you. But sometimes our failure just knocks us down so bad that it just makes you think to yourself, what's next? What am I going to endure next? I just don't get it. There's so many people out there that have depression, that just sit in their world and they feel trapped. Because sometimes for me, I feel like the walls are caving in on me. And I feel like emotionally I can't breathe. I feel like sometimes in my life, I just feel like without God, without Christ, without the Bible, I would be lost. But every day when I wake up and I feel the pains that I have, I think about the things that need to motivate me and lift me out of what brings me down. It's sad waking up every day with depression and feeling low. I'm 36 years old. And a part of me is like, great. I'm still here. Guess I have to get up. And then from those thoughts, because I'm doing this for my kids. I can't let my kids see the failure. I have to let them see success. I don't know about you, but that's enough to get you out of bed. I may not have my kids here, but they are here in my heart. They're the ones that lift me up. The people that are looking down that I have lost in my life are my motivation, because I want to live a life in honor of them. A lot of people ask, Kent, where does all this kindness come from on your podcast? The urge to help others, to motivate others, to be there for people. It's because of my grandma, who I lost in first grade. If you know the story about my grandma, she was an incredible woman. She would have given the clothes off her back to make someone feel good, to feel welcomed, taken care of. She was an active person within her community. This is a small town, a small county. But she did whatever she could. I'm sure there was plenty of times in her life where she felt down. But she always got up. Because that's what she did. She did it to help others, to build people up. And I'm sure she left this earth happy. Because she knew that she did everything she could to be that person. That's why I do what I do. I want to leave the legacy behind like my grandma did. I don't want people to look back at me and go, he was a screw up. That's it. No, I don't want that. I don't want people to look at me and go, that guy was a jerk. That guy was a cheater. That guy was heartless. He was a mind gamer. I want people to remember me because I had a big heart. That I did do things wrong in my life, but I made the right choices to change. To pick myself out of that depression hole and motivate and to live a life that I could look behind and go, you know what? I could have been buried in depression, but I chose to get up. To wipe the dust off my pants. And move forward. It's amazing what happens when you think about your life. You think about what brings you down. You think about all the things in your life that make you who you are as a person. And you may fail, you may be depressed, and you have all these things in your life that is heavy baggage that you put on your back every single day. And it gets harder and harder to walk and move forward because of all the weight you're carrying. But when you release it and you talk about it and you are open and you are willing to admit that you've done things wrong, but you no longer want to live that life of being a screw up, being that man that has hurt people, being that man that was a cheater, a liar, a man that did things wrong, but he chose to live a better life. He chose to be that person, to help other people, to lift people up, to be that person, to listen and to understand that no matter how many times you screw up in your life, no matter how many times there are painful and are just bad memories that eat you alive, you chose to move forward, to help others, to use that past as a way to let people know that they are not alone. You are not alone in your struggles. You are not alone in those moments when you are in that pit of hurt and pain and you feel bad because of what has happened, but you feel like you just don't know how to start that road of success, changing that road of being that bad, horrible, miserable person. But there's a way. There's a way that you can change. There's a way that you can believe in your heart that it is possible. And when we come back, we're going to touch on that. Stay tuned, folks. Did you know on the Kent Holste podcast website, there's a place for you to buy products that can help you look and feel good? But not only that, live a positive, healthy lifestyle? It's all on the Positive Lifestyle by Holste page on the Kent Holste podcast website. I encourage you to check it out because there's some great products by Q Sciences as well as Herbalife. So check it out today. It's at www.kentholstepodcast.com/positive lifestyles by Holste. There comes a moment in your life when you think to yourself, when is this going to change? When am I going to have a life where I don't have to be depressed, be down, and have all this weight that I've carried for so long to be off my back, off my shoulders? Today. That time is now. Because yes, you may have had loss in your life. Yes, you may have had bad relationships in your life. Yes, you may have had relationships where at first it was the most amazing experience in your life, and then all of a sudden it was taken from you and it's gone. One moment you may have the best amazing family and you have these beautiful kids in your life that you helped create, and the next thing you know, they're gone. It's impossible for me to live my life. It's impossible for me to get up out of bed. It's impossible for me to go to work and be successful. Those are all false statements. You are letting yourself think things that are not true. You are letting yourself get into that ball of failure, and it's not going to take you anywhere to success. If there's one person that you should take advice from, it's me, because I've been through it all. Why are you down? Why do you let yourself be down? What are you doing wrong? Do you need to find a therapist? Do you need to talk to a pastor? Do you need to go to a support group? Because maybe that's what you need to do. But sitting and being in that pit of pain and misery is not going to help you. I may be right now on this road of feeling down because of the loss of the family member that I have. But I have to move forward. I have to honor that person. I have to be there for that family, for my family, because that is the right thing to do. Because I know deep down in my heart that if I miss it, if I'm not there to support my family, then I'm not being that person. I don't want to be known later in my life as that person that avoided pain. I've always taken things head on. Sometimes you have to face your fears. A prime example is I lost my grandfather on my dad's side about 12 years ago. He was a very strict, call it how it is type of guy. But you know what? When it came to family, he wanted to teach us kids, his grandchildren, what life is about. My grandfather taught me about respect. And although I was young and stupid and I didn't want to hear it, those lessons that he said, I've learned. When we came to his funeral, I had to conquer my fears. I had to get myself out of what was bringing me down. You see, because of that fear that I had with my grandma's death when I was in first grade, I'm not going to go into that story because I've already said it. If you want to listen to it, it's on my podcast. I've always been afraid of open caskets because of my grandma. It's just a fear. But at my grandpa's funeral, before the service, his casket was open at the back of the church. And I'll never forget it. My dad and I walked over, and for the first time, I walked up to the casket and I touched my grandpa's hand. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I was scared. I'm scared of death. But I touched it. And it was the best thing that ever happened because I broke that fear. Since then, I've been able to go to open caskets for a funeral or a wake, rather, for an old coworker that I've talked about before that passed away from an overdose on heroin. It's because of my dad knowing my fear and helping me conquer it. You see, what brings you down can be fixed. You can live your life living in fear, or you can choose to live it and conquer it. Because I think within the midst of what brings us down, we're too busy fearing the worst When the fact is, the worst may not be as bad as what we think because we don't try. We can all be better people if we just gave things a chance. The what ifs don't matter because you can replace the what ifs with that just happened. I proved people wrong. And for 3 years now, I've lived a better life. I've had a healthier life. I live in a world of positivity. And I choose to live my life around people that are positive. And now I don't have a reason to say, why are you down? I have a reason to say, why are you up? Why are you so excited to live life? Why are you so happy? Because I know that yesterday was yesterday, and today is today, and tomorrow is tomorrow. Today, look at it as life is like a stepping stone. And I know this example is old, but it works. There are going to be days where there are big enough rocks that you can safely walk across. There are going to be days where you're going to get a little bit wet. And there might be times when you have to turn around and find another stone to step on to get across. And that way may take longer, or it might just take a second. But taking the right steps in your life will prevent these times that bring you down. But you may be going, but Kent, what about death? There isn't no making up and regaining out of that. Yes, there is. You want to know how? You want to know a secret? Come here. I'll tell you. Live to honor. Live to bring that life back by being the example of what they taught, how they lived. But hey, Kent, they didn't live a positive life. They lived a life being angry, being upset. They had addictions. They were out of control. How do I deal with that? Well, that's simple. Do the opposite. What was that? Do the opposite. Do the opposite. Live your life doing everything humanly possible to live a life where you can change the image. Yes, I was raised by a person that was mean, rude, addicted, miserable. But I chose to do the opposite. I chose to be positive. I chose to encourage. I chose to not let addictions get the best of me. I told them to get the heck out. I chose to be a leader. I chose to not be down because it's better to be up. I chose to look at different scenarios in life in a different way than in a negative. I stopped judging people by the way they looked, by the way they talked, by the way they presented themselves. I rather chose to live a life accepting people and caring for them regardless. When someone said they needed help with something, I was the first to say, I'll do it. When I saw someone down and hurting, I was there to lift them up. All these things and much more you can do if you choose to look up. Where can you go in life when you're looking down? Not far, because chances are you're going to run into something. But when you're looking up and looking forward, you're going to go far. You're going to go to places that you never thought were possible. And why is that? Because you chose to live a better life. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to shut things down, and we are going to get you on the right path of being positive and encouraging and living a life looking up and looking forward and not looking down or behind you, right here on the Kent Holste podcast. Hey everyone, I just want to take this time to thank you for tuning in to today's show. Without your support and watching these videos, this podcast wouldn't be where it's at today. And the same goes for the website as well, and the YouTube channel. So to help me out even more, if you haven't done so yet, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to ring that bell so you can be notified when a new, amazing content comes out. Also, don't forget to check out all the other social media sites as well, and like, share, and comment, and subscribe there too. It all is being a part of this community where we can come together and show that we care for one another, so we can motivate and encourage others. So thanks again for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show. You know, I want to say that I'm sorry because I maybe, saying things in a way that might make you go, oh my gosh, this guy needs help. But no, I'm trying to say things in a way that people can relate. Because I think there's plenty of people out there like me who have felt like that in those scenarios where people have to kind of whisper and bring you in. Because here's the secret, folks. No matter if you're listening to this because you were just interested and you wanted to support the podcast, or you chose to click this link because you saw Why Are You Down? Why are you down? I'm here for you. I'm not the only one that struggles with depression, pain, over caring for people when people pass away. There's been times where I don't know people and I just feel down when I hear that they passed. There's been times where I know people all my life and they pass and I just feel like crap. And I think, why am I down? If you ask that question, why am I down? There's something serious going on. And you need to investigate it. And whatever that reason or outcome is, doesn't mean you hide from it. Because you just don't want to deal with the emotions, the feelings. You have to. What good are you doing when you don't face your fears? Why are you so afraid? Well, because I'm not strong enough. Why aren't you strong enough? Why do you feel that way? People have said things to me that have brought me down. They said I wasn't good enough. That my feelings don't matter. Okay. Why do you let those words affect you? Because those people I respect. Those people I care for. Well, if they mean that much to you, why don't you prove them wrong? Why don't you do something in your life that shows these people, as much as they want to believe that what they see is not true, as long as you work hard and you try every single day, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. People think that, these people think this, it's not worth it. It's the fact, I'm done. But it doesn't accomplish anything. It brings you down, and you're sitting there going, why am I down? Because you're letting other people's words affect you. Are those words true? No. Okay, then what's the point? And obviously, if it's family, there's nothing you can do except for try to express that they're wrong. But you have to have fact to back it up. And sometimes it's just not even worth it. Because all they want is the attention. When people are mean, when people are rude, they're just looking to get a rise out of you. They want to see you down. They want to see you miserable. They want to see you fail. But guess what? You don't have to have them win. You don't have to let them get into your head. You can choose to tune them out and do something else. Why are you down when you could be up and excited and motivated? Forget the doubters. Forget the people that have nothing better to do but make other people miserable, because, quite frankly, their life is probably really miserable. And they just don't care about anybody else. So they think that the best thing they can do is bring people down to join in their fun of being mean, hurtful, whatever. I've been through that. I've looked in the face of someone who backstabbed and tried to bring me down and say things about me that was not true. And guess what? I let them control me. I let them bring me down. I let them make me weak. I chose to be weak because I thought it wasn't possible. I had no one else around me that was saying, they're wrong, Kent. Get back up. So if that's you, guess what? There's hope. These people that are making you feel down have no idea just the type of person that you are. Because deep down inside, you are of value to this world. There are people out there who rely on you to be there for them every single day, to walk through that door at work, to walk through that place that you go all the time, because the moment that you don't, people are going to notice and go, why hasn't Steve been in? I don't know. Is he sick? I heard he was doing this. I'm sorry. This is how life is. People talk like this. Why? Because they care. It happens in the restaurant business. I haven't seen Julia for a while. She usually comes in and gets that sandwich and that milkshake, whatever. I don't know. Where's Steve? Usually comes in and is trying to find the latest hot single from Garth Brooks. I don't know. I think he just went through a divorce. I think he just lost his kids. I think he lost his brother in a tragic accident. Last I heard, he lost his house. I heard he lost his job. He lost his car. It's unfortunate. But out of all these conversations, does anybody step up and say, you know what? I'm going to go find him. I'm going to go take him out to eat. I'm going to go do this for him. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to lift his spirits up. No. I don't even want to know what the percentage of people who do. Because it's probably like in the teens. I would assume. It's impossible. Because look at our world today. There's not enough people to say, why are you down? But they don't finish the next question that should be brought up. What can I do to lift you back up? What can I do to lift you back up? Nine simple words that take seconds to say. And yet nobody chooses to say it. When I was going through my tough time, how many people said those words? One. Maybe two. That's it. Out of how many people that I know? Two people. Wow. So imagine by those numbers just by itself. What other people? And I got a lot of people I know. And there's not a lot of people like that. There just isn't. Let's face it, I get emotional on here. It's no surprise. I'm passionate because I care about the people in this world. I care about you. And I don't even probably know you. I act like this because I want people to understand that this is real. The thoughts and the feelings that I said may have been scary, but that's how people think. I could have chose to take the easy route in my life and just flat out end it. I could have acted and done it and got it over with, but I chose not to because I knew that life is more than just hiding. Why do I want others to defeat me? Why do I have to let my fear defeat me? Because I don't have to. I can live a life every single day making the most out of it and proving people wrong. Because trust me, there are people who think that I'm still that screw up, that makes bad choices. that won't be successful. I had a guy in my church growing up that told me that one day I would live in a cardboard box in an alley one day and I wouldn't be successful. Well, let me tell you this. 20 some years later, you're wrong. I am successful. I've made a good name for myself. And the thing is, did he say something that hurt? Absolutely. Did he say something that brought me down? Absolutely. But did I let that defeat me? Did I let those words get the best of me? No. I chose to step up. I chose to grab life by the horns, per se, and take it down. Because I wanted to prove that I am the best at what I do, that I am the best in the world, because I am Kent Holste. I wanted to make my grandma proud by living a life that she used to live, by helping people, by being supportive, by being a good family person. Yes, it took me 20, 30 some years to figure it out. But it wasn't the end because of being that long. It was just the beginning. I am passionate about this because I care. I am passionate because I love this world. And I love you, the listeners. I care about you. I don't want to see people fail. I don't want to see people on their knees looking up at the sky going, why? Why am I a loner? Why does no one care? Why does people think so low of me? Why do people think that I won't amount to anything? Why am I constantly being used? Why am I being constantly taken advantage of? Why am I someone's floor mat? Why am I constantly getting beat? There's so many things that you could say that people go through thinking in their mind every single minute. But the biggest one that hurts the most is, why don't I have family to back me up? I'll be your family. This podcast is your family. This is a community of people that care, that want to make an impact, that want to knock those barriers down and say, this is home. This is a safe place. I've made mistakes. I've been in jail. I have done these things. I have done that. There are people that have done different things in their life. I've lost my job. I've lost my house. I've lost my kids. I've lost my marriage. I've lost this. We could come up with every scenario in the book, and it's all here. You want to talk about a judgment-free zone? This is it. Don't be afraid to think that you are worth it. Don't be afraid to think that you are the man, that you are the woman, that you are able to take that step and keep walking down that road of success. Success of proving people wrong. the success of showing that you can carry on a legacy that may have been good, may have been bad. It doesn't matter. Because you're taking the right steps. Why are you down? Can change. Why are you so successful? Why are you the best at what you do? Dang, you're awesome. Dang, you're so cool. Dang, you're the best person I've ever had as a friend. Those are the words that you will hear. But don't get me wrong, there's going to be plenty of times where there's going to be people that still want to bring you down, that still want to use those words. And guess what? You can just keep on walking. And you can blow them off. And as much as this is about positivity, sometimes you have to be that person that walks away and says, your opinions don't matter. Why? Because I know the truth. I know me. But obviously you don't. How about that? I don't think there's a better way to end this podcast by just saying that. Because I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I am a human. But guess what? I'm not going to let those moments define me. But I will if I need to. Because guess what? What is going to define me is the things that I did to correct the wrongs. The things that I did to carry out that legacy. That new beginning, that new chapter. Because I'm not living in a world that constantly revolves and goes around about failure. I'm getting that so-called brass ring and going straight to the top. And while you are looking all the way at the bottom going, how did he get there? I wish I could get there. You're going to realize all those insults, all those things that people say are not worth it. Because look where you're at. Look how far you've come. Look at all the things that you helped create and begin. Just like this podcast. I created this because I wanted people to think positive, to believe in themselves. And when there's people who like to place judgment, make up false things about you, you can change the world. You can change the way people look at you. Because they can talk all the smack they want. Because you are better than that. If you have to talk smack about someone, you are the problem. So why not be the solution and change it? Because there's no reason for people to be down. And if you're creating that drama, if you are that person listening right now going, I've done that. I've brought people down. I've created drama. Well, first of all, good for you. And yet, meanwhile, you're saying these people are the problem? Wow. Boy, reality is going to smack hard one day, and you're going to realize that you were the problem. That you created all this pain and heartache. And for what? And then who's going to be the one going, why am I down? Because look what you created. Nothing good. You hurt people. You created things that didn't need to be. Because of what? Selfish ambition. Selfishness that you wanted something because you felt greedy. That you wanted it your way and nobody else's. Doesn't make sense. Or you're that person the whole entire time and you're pushing blame on everybody else, but really, what happens when you point fingers at people? How many fingers do you got pointed right back at you? More than what you're pointing at them. So who's the problem? You. But meanwhile, you're playing the victim going, well, I'm the one being attacked. I'm the one doing this. You're bullying other people for no reason, but you're the problem. Why are you down? Because you're making bad choices. I don't get it. This world could be such a better place if we took the time to be there for people. To listen and try to understand, why are you down? Because maybe people don't understand where they're at because they want to look at it from one way, one direction. But in reality, that's not how it is. That's not how it should be. The question should be, why are you so motivated? Why are you so kind to people? Why do you got such a big heart? Think about that today. Because I believe in you. Don't you think you should too? Think and be positive. Do what you can, not what you can't, to look forward, to keep your head held high when there's times of question and doubt. And if you see someone who served our country, whether it be police, military, medical, give them an elbow, fist bump, tell them how much you appreciate them. You never know how much they might appreciate that. It's all about kindness. And until we talk again right here on the Kent Holste podcast, I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're looking up. And I hope that you're motivated to live a life without question, without a shadow of a doubt that you are the best. So do that today. God bless.